Hey, it's JP with Retronyms, and welcome back to iMPC Prologue, where we take a look at the in-development features for iMPC Pro. Last time I showed some new features where we could use metadata, looping metadata, slice loops, and that kind of stuff. So you should take a look at that video. I'm going to expand on that a bit today. So a bunch of people asked after that whether or not importing your own loops would work. And yes, it will, as long as you import stuff that have the right kind of metadata, and we'll publish the exact specs on that soon, but it's a fairly common standard. But we can go a step further, and I can show that within iMPC Pro, you can edit your own slice loops from any sample that you make. So let's take a look at that today. I've got a empty program loaded up here, and I'm just going to pull up a turntable sample and make a new sample. So for my iTunes library here, there's this great track from the Budos band called Adenji. Okay, so there's this great flute solo in here. Okay, so I'm just going to use that part of it, and I'm going to trim this down into a loop first. And we're working on right now making sure these audition triggers actually loop. Today, with this sort of in-progress build, I have to do it manually. So that sounds pretty close. Okay, so now I've got my loop, and I'm just going to discard ends today. So you can see down here there's a new button. We've had trim and chop to pads for a while now, and now we've added this new one here, slice loop. So it's actually very similar to chop to pads, but it lets us, instead of chopping each slice onto an individual pad of your program, this will let you chop a loop onto a pad that gives you a tempo adjustable, pitch independent loop. So if we take a look, this loop here is about 4 beats. So I'll set that. It matches our BPM here to the BPM song BPM. When this is actually slower than the loop is that we were just playing. I think that was about 110 BPM. We're set to 97. This is playing it a little bit slower, so I can bring it down even further. Let's just to try it out. So you can hear this is pretty coarse chops. We've got 8 slices, and each one right now has 2 16th notes in it. Pretty much across the board. So that gives us a pretty easy decision here. I'm going to set this to 16 slices. So for 4 beats, 16 slices, each slice is a 16th note. So this grid is going to be pretty on, I think. That I'm able to change the tempo without altering the pitch. So obviously we can go into each slice and tweak it so we can adjust the position and make sure that we're going to eliminate any clicks, or this loop's pretty straight ahead, but if it's a slightly more swingy beat or there's a little bit more human organic quality to it, you might have to set the slices. I think all of these actually sound pretty good as is. And of course you can add your own slices and set this to however you want. You can insert slices by dragging down, just like in chop to pads. Okay, so that sounds pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit done, and the result is a slice loop that matches the song tempo. Song tempo right now is 97 BPM, and again, if I turn the song tempo down, Turn that back up about 94. And of course, now I can pitch it around, so I can take my note variation here and or 16 levels. So now you can have a lot of fun with this loop. So if I switch it to hold mode, it'll just loop on its own. Play around with the envelopes and whatnot. So for more information about what you can do with these slice loops, check out last week's video. But this should show, you can take any sample, loop it, slice it, and throw it on a pad. Kind of do whatever you want with it. So thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this. We've got more features coming for this next update of iMPC Pro. A lot to say about the time stretching here. We're still working on making sure it sounds great in as many cases as we can. And make sure to subscribe to Akai Pro and Retronyms for all the latest on this and other apps. And make sure to follow us on Twitter as well, and check out our subreddits on Reddit. That's where we're sort of doing a lot of our discussion. So check that out, and I'll put links to that in the video notes. So thanks a lot.